In the cold, calculated world of royal power, marriages were never about love. They were weapons, alliances, and sacrifices. But what happens when a young princess gives up everything, her home, her future, even her happiness, to save a kingdom, only to be betrayed by the very man she trusted? This is the haunting true story of Catherine of Aragon, a queen who crossed nations for duty, stood firm in faith, and paid the ultimate price for loyalty. Born into one of the most powerful dynasties in Europe, Catherine was the daughter of Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile, the monarchs who united Spain and sponsored the voyage of Christopher Columbus. From the moment she was born, her life was not her own. She was raised not just as a princess, but as a political instrument, trained in languages, religion, and diplomacy, all for one purpose: to secure alliances through marriage. And at just 16 years old, she was sent away from everything she knew, across the sea to England, to marry the heir to the English throne, Arthur, Prince of Wales. The marriage was meant to cement peace between Spain and England, strengthening both kingdoms against their rivals. But fate had other plans. Just months after their wedding, Arthur fell ill and died suddenly. Catherine, now a teenage widow in a foreign land, found herself stranded, her purpose shattered, her future uncertain. Yet returning to Spain would mean political failure, and England still needed the alliance she represented. So, in a move that would change history, it was decided she would marry Arthur's younger brother, the future king, Henry VIII. At first, it seemed like destiny had offered her a second chance. When Henry ascended the throne, their marriage appeared strong, even affectionate. Catherine was crowned queen, admired for her intelligence, dignity, and unwavering faith. She even acted as regent while Henry was away, successfully defending England during the Battle of Flodden. She had done everything expected of her, more than expected. She had not only saved the alliance between two great nations, but proven herself as a capable and respected queen. But in the shadows of the palace, a silent tragedy was unfolding. Catherine suffered multiple pregnancies, but heartbreak followed each one. Babies were stillborn or died shortly after birth. Only one child survived, Mary I of England. And in a kingdom desperate for a male heir, this was not enough. As the years passed, Henry grew restless. The same marriage that once symbolized unity and power now became, in his eyes, a barrier to his legacy. Then came the woman who would change everything, Anne Boleyn. Henry became infatuated with Anne, but she refused to be his mistress. She demanded marriage, and Henry, desperate for a son and consumed by desire, began seeking a way to end his union with Catherine. What followed was not just a personal betrayal, but a political and religious earthquake. Henry sought an annulment, claiming his marriage to Catherine was invalid because she had been his brother's wife. But Catherine refused to accept this. She stood firm, declaring their marriage lawful and herself the rightful queen. Her resistance would cost her everything. The matter escalated beyond the royal court and into the heart of the Catholic Church. When the Pope refused to grant the annulment, Henry took an unprecedented step. He broke away from Rome, initiating what would become the English Reformation. A kingdom was torn apart, not by war, but by one man's determination to rewrite his fate. And Catherine? She was cast aside. Stripped of her title, declared no longer queen, she was exiled from court and separated from her daughter Mary, whom she would never see again. Once the most powerful woman in England, she was reduced to living in isolation, her health declining, her heart broken, but her dignity intact. She never accepted Henry's annulment. Until her dying breath, she maintained she was his true and lawful wife. In 1536, Catherine of Aragon died alone. But her story did not end there. Her daughter Mary would later rise to the throne as Queen, Mary I of England, restoring, for a time, the Catholic faith her mother had defended so fiercely. In many ways, Catherine's legacy endured not through the man who betrayed her, but through the daughter she fought to protect. So what makes this story unforgettable is not just the politics, or the scandal, or even the tragedy. It is the quiet strength of a woman who gave everything for duty, only to be discarded when she was no longer useful. She married to save a kingdom. She stayed loyal when others would have broken. And in the end, she lost her crown, her family, and her place in history, yet never her integrity. Because sometimes the greatest tragedies are not the ones written in blood, but the ones written in silence. And here's the question that lingers long after her story ends. Was Catherine a victim of fate, or the price of power? What do you think? Was she the true Queen of England, or just a pawn in a ruthless game of kings? Type your thoughts below.